Hello daily drafters and welcome back to the channel for today's daily draft. We are once again back drafting after several days of sealed on the channel. Going for Arena Open Day 2 did not quite work, which means I have not drafted here on the channel in quite a while and I'm excited to get back into it. So let's go ahead and dive into today's pack one pick one here in Bloomburrow, and I think we got a pretty easy Osteomancer Adept. 2 mana 2/2 Death Touch. You can tap it to cast creature spells from your graveyard with foraging and putting finality counters on them. Everything else in this pack is horrible. That's not entirely true. There's a Scales of Shale, which I haven't actually played lizards really at all. Flamecash Gecko, also good in lizards. Moonstone Harbinger, totally fine in bats. I think my only trophy deck in the entire formatting was a bats deck that included Harbinger. And Valley Floodcaller is blue, which means we can't take it. That's a little bit of an exaggeration, but yeah, the blue, especially blue-red deck, is quite horrible, as many of you know by now. So we will be taking the Adept here and see where to go from there. So obviously this is best in a green-black deck. That's not to say it has to be green-black. The only green card in this entire pack is 3-Tree Root Weaver, which is a fine card. The only black cards are Scales of Shale and Sinister Monolith. Not a great card, fine card, but we don't know that we're in lizards. There's also a Sunspine Lynx, a 4-mana 5/4. That's pretty much all it is. It's got other text, but it doesn't do much more than that. And an Edimer Crab. This cares about instants and sorceries, and this cares about creatures, so we don't really want these two in the same deck very often. The Lynx is just not good enough, in my opinion, to one, go into red, and two, on just a base rate. Kind of a shame we have to follow up with a 3-Tree Root Weaver here. I'm not thrilled about this, but I do think these cards go fine enough together that they're okay taking. Splash Portal is a card I have not had access to draft very much. I've drafted Frogs at least once. I know I went 0-3 with it once, but I didn't have the cards like Splash Portal to make that deck really sing. There's a Dire Sight, which is fine, but not great. Probably a card I would play maybe one of. There's a Corpseberry Cultivator, which I also don't find to be super great, but Squirrels is where you want to be in this format. If you can get your way into it, it's not a bad spot to be. Starscape Cleric, pretty good. We could have had a pretty good bats start here. There's also a Banishing Light, a couple of red cards, and plenty of blue cards I don't particularly care about so much. I'm going to stay down the green-black path until I pretty much have a pretty big reason to move off of it. Now, there's a lot of blue and red cards here. Blue and red just does not work in this format. As good as these cards look, for those of you that haven't drafted too many times, they're just not good. They just are not. So there's a Flowerfoot Swordmaster, which is pretty good in white aggressive decks. It's an Agate Blade Assassin. We could still be red-black, probably. There's a Ruthless Negotiation, which is fine in these kind of decks if you end up with cards like Cash Grab, where you can mill this into your yard. Green is already cut quite a bit. I'm going to go ahead and take the Assassin over the Negotiation. I think this will end up being better in lizards if we do find our way into lizards. And speaking of, there's a couple of good red cards here. There's a Take Out the Trash. There's 3 black cards, but none of them really go well with what we're trying to do here. There's also a Treetop Sentries, which is also fine, but not great in a deck like this. I mean, I think it's fine. But green has already proved to be pretty cut. We got to pick 5, Take Out the Trash. Maybe we could find our way into lizards with this. If I pass the sentries and I end up going green-black, I'm probably not going to miss it too badly. See, now there's plenty of black and green cards, so we can head back into black-green for a moment. We do Heaped Harvest. Here's the sentries I could take if I wanted it. A Rush Shield Rampager. A way to return some creatures. Don't think either of these are in the conversation. So I think now I actually potentially will take, although Heaped Harvest is quite good with things like Osteomancer Adept and cards that care about foraging. I'm going to take the harvest here and go from there. Now there's a charger for red-black. There's a pond prophet, but I think the whole frogs deck has sailed us by. We could have gotten into frogs here, but I don't think it was worth going off of what we were already doing. There's a Rush Shield Rampager, which is just generically fine, and a Share Pot, which is slightly under the rate nowadays. I'm going to go ahead and take the Rampager here. Another Harvest. There is an Agate Assault and a Bonebind Orator. I think I'll take the creature over the Harvest this time and the Agate Assault here. Black-green is looking to actually kind of open up a little bit for us here. It was cut off for 2 or 3 picks there, but we can find our way back into it for a moment. Just going to go ahead and cut the black and green cards. Don't anticipate playing blue. I'll take the red card just in case. Pass a blue card and finish with a Dire Sight, which is a playable. So where do we go from here? I think the answer lies within Savor. 2 mana, -2/-2, instant speed, create a food. It's exactly what this black-green deck is looking to do. Tree Guard Duo on the wheel would be great. So would Root Weaver. Heaped Harvest on the wheel. I don't know if I'd play 2 of these. And I don't think I would play either of these in this black-green deck. But this is a pretty easy saver for me here. Still don't mind specking on the Take Out the Trash. This could basically just be a that 4 mana 2/4 forage guy, Treetop Harvesters or whatever it's called. But I think it was fine to speculate on the Take Out the Trash there. And everything else we have is working toward a similar goal. We don't have a lot. We don't have like cash grabs or Baker's Bane duos. So there's still some more cards I would like to pick up for this deck. And I hope we cut it enough in pack 1 that we can kind of get rewarded here in pack 2. I don't think Moira is worth splashing. It's a 3 mana 2/4 that can add a red or a green at your combat because it counts itself. When you expend 4, you gain 3 life. I mean, it's okay. It's probably not worth splashing, though we do have a Heaped Harvest. So the question is, would I rather a Long Stalk Brawl or an Early Winter over this? I mean, even if we're in green, like, this is also a raccoon. We could end up with a couple more raccoons. And it seems okay. This is not really a format where you want to splash too much. Removal is also pretty nice. I'm going to take the Long Stalk Brawl. This is a card I don't play a ton that I think is actually a little bit better than I give it credit for. I'm going to go ahead and take that here. Well, if we're a black-green deck that likes to fill its graveyard, Huskburster Swarm is a nice, decent little payoff for that. Currently only have 6 creatures. We're not going to take out the trash here, but this deck wants to fill up on creatures. So we can go ahead and take that here. Got another Cultivator, a removal spell in Consumed by Greed that can also return creatures from your graveyard to your hand. Ruthless Negotiation to a lesser extent. I'm going to take the removal spell that also synergizes with the graveyard here. And then I guess Brambleguard Veteran. I mean, I don't want a second Dire Sight. I don't think the Druid is great in this deck. Don't need Ravine Raider, and I'm not playing anything else, so guess I'll take the Veteran here. Druid of the Spade, 3 mana 4/3 trample basically in this deck, or a second Heaped Harvest, or a Glide Dive duo. I think I'll take the Druid of the Spade here. When in doubt, take the cheaper card, and this is more than likely a 4/3 in our deck. Now we've got Junkblade Bruiser, 5 mana 4/5, mostly a 6/6 on your turn, most of the time in decks like these. Mind Drill Assailant, the only card we could really consider out of that pack, as it was the only one that touches black or green. We did not wheel any of the cards I pointed out from pick 1, so we are competing for this deck, which is not really a spot you want to be in, but where we're at. 3 mana 6/6 Vigilance. You can tap, untap 2 untapped tokens you control to crew it, including food. So we could potentially consider playing this depending on where we end up on our food count. I mean, right now we've got Savor, and that's it as far as food makers. I mean, Heaped Harvest is a food, but it doesn't count as a token toward the tumbler, so I don't know how good that's going to be for us here. So, see if we can open anything good in the last pack. Well, there's a Savor and a Cash Grab here. Both of these are very good. Among the top commons in the entire set. We don't have a ton of removal. We have a Savor, a Longstock Brawl, a Consumed by Greed. Cash Grab is a way to continue to mill into our graveyard. I think I'm going to take the second Savor, but if I see another Cash Grab and a Savor, I'm going to take the first Cash Grab over the third Savor. But Savor is just too efficient of a removal spell here. And now we've got a tough one between Darkstar Augur and Fell. Fell is a great removal spell. We did just take a 2-mana removal. It's not catch-all. We don't have a way to remove things like on site, but I do think the Augur is good enough to get a little flying card advantage here. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Augur and unfortunately pass on Fell. Now we do have Nocturnal Hunger. Green is just like non-existent this pack so far, but we'll take the Nocturnal Hunger removal spell here. Okay, got another Rust Shield Rampager over an Agate Blade Assassin and Uncharted Haven. Just take the creature here, I guess. And now I can want to take this entire pack and be done with the entire draft. That would be great. Why does everything have to be in this pack? Another Swarm, Wix Patrol, and Cash Grab here. I'm going to take the Wix Patrol. It both fills our graveyard and is a creature, so I think that's going to be better than Cash Grab for us. But I really hated doing that. I think I'll take the Sentries over a second Consumed by Greed and Glide Dive duo here. Soothsayer, Dire Sight number 3. Not going to play either of these. So I'll just take that, throw it into the sideboard here. Another Cultivator. That's a late Mentor, but I'll go ahead and take the Cultivator here. And now it's just the wheel. Oh my goodness, we wheeled the Cash Grab. Pick 9. I didn't even see it. Oh, I did. Is that the one I commented? Yes. Savor over Cash Grab. Oh, we got the Cash Grab. Let's go. Okay. Early Winter. I don't think I'm playing Scales of Shale. Now I actually have to make some cuts. Decent little spot to be in. Starforged Sword. Much more for a token deck, I think. All right, we kind of got there. I think we're not the best version of this deck. We don't really have any rares really, but we've got some decent little synergy. So I'm going to go ahead and build it. I will see you after deck building. All right, after deck building, here's where I ended up. We got 15 creatures in the deck. A fine amount, because everything that isn't a creature synergizes with what we've got going on. Heaped Harvest is a food for foraging. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 removal spells, card draw, and graveyard filling, as well as a bunch of creatures that work with foraging. Some generically fine creatures that will just do some good work. The Veteran isn't going to do a ton here. I mean, we've got 4 raccoons, so it's not out of the possibility that it does something. Druid of the Spade, a little bit filler. So we got some filler cards in here for sure. Agate Blade Assassin, definitely some filler cards, but it does have the possibility to do well, as it is combining the 2 best colors in the set, which is always a spot you want to be in. So we're going to give this one a shot. Don't forget about the sponsor of today's video and of the channel, Dubby Energy, which is a powder-based energy blend. And if you head over to dubby.gg, check out their line of products and use code DailyDraft for 10% off your entire purchase, which does kick back my way, and let them know that I sent you there. So thanks for your consideration on that, and I will see you in game number 1. Here we are going first, and the hand is not great, but got 2 colors of mana. We're on the play. First play's on turn 3. I think we'll survive. They didn't have a 1-drop, so that's always a good sign. Red, blue, and that's always another good sign. Although Storm Teacher's Talent is a good card, don't get me wrong. Let's play the card that has the ability to be slightly worse here. All right, so they're playing the blue and red cards, that's for sure. All right, do we full send it? I'm not here to not full send, right? Let's just draw all of the cards here. If we die to our own Darkstar Augur, we die to our own Darkstar Augur. But I'm going to go ahead and draw 3 cards a turn. Let's see if either of them survive. Tempest Angler and nothing else. Okay, let's draw some cards. There we go. Alright, only took 2 damage from all of that combined. Not too bad. Let's go ahead and... I could just play Druid and Agate Blade Assassin here. Just get creatures down on the battlefield. Make sure I can have the ability to pressure their life total and not die to my own Augurs. And then I can start trying to find things and return things. This is a 4/3, as I do currently have a token. Can do this. None of this has reach. So I will get on in there. 6 mana next turn. I found that kicking this doesn't usually do a ton. It's just a 1/1. So playing the Rampager and then using Cash Grab might be the play. Okay. Down goes the token, which means Druid now is only a 2/3. And our life total is now pressured quite a bit. Oh my gosh, Tempest Angler .deck. Okay, I think that changes things here now. So let's do Wix Patrol. As long as we don't hit 3 lands, we should be okay. Alright, and we do in fact get to kill one of these things now. Do I want to forage? Make it a 3/4? No, I think I'm okay. Let's do this here. Okay, 2 mana, draw 2. Put counters everywhere. Land, and let's see if they start killing our stuff, because they've got a lot of power and toughness over there, so we gotta watch out at least a little bit. Okay, down goes Darkstar Augur. We did get to draw some more cards, but these anglers are becoming problems. Do we have a squirrel? We do have a squirrel, so let's see what we find from this. All of the best cards in our deck, basically. Removal spells. I'm not going to be able to attack past this thing anymore. So I pretty much have to trade Wix Patrol for a 4/4, or at least offer that here. At this point, I can probably afford to forage, at least for now. Attack here. See what they want to do about that. Okay, take 5, and then I guess just play this and hope they don't have removal for everything here. And I'm just going to have to chump block some of this stuff. Okay, getting back Agate Assault more than likely. Yep. So they can kill Wix Patrol now. Turn that into a 6/6. But they gotta be careful with how they attack, because I've got a lot of attacks on the way back, and I'm drawing, gosh, all of my lands. I do only have 16 cards left in the deck, so... I don't know of a better time to cast this. That's pretty horrible. And... Brambleguard Veteran works with this, but this is just trading for their 6/6 this turn, probably. But it does work with the Rampager as well. Yeah, I guess it's okay. Alright, let's see if they want this trade. I guess they could trade with the 1/1 and the 5/5, but looks like we're going to get rid of their 6/6 here. Okay, Kindle Spark Duo. Even more. Let's do this, and then the Adept here, which will give this +1/+1 in Vigilance. I know the Adept will let me cast one of these, so I'm going to leave the Bruiser in there, because I would like to attack with the Cultivator this turn. If I attack here, what happens? They start chumping, and then they eat this one. And I think I'll just do this for now. The next turn I can cast the Bruiser by foraging a food. Jeez, okay. They have all of the Kindle Spark duos. Okay, so I only paid 2 for that. So now... I'm going to go ahead and do this one. They're at 5. I don't think they've got anything here. So I'm just going to go ahead and get on in. Yeah, they were bluffing a little bit. Well, they weren't bluffing, but the Kindle Spark duos were their priority there. So got that first win. All right, we're up first again. Pretty much the same starter as last time, so I'm gonna go ahead and start with this and probably lead on Heaped Harvest so that I can get my mana situation underneath me. Depends on how fast they come out. If they play Ravine Raider here, that's even worse. I do now have a blocker at least, so there is that. Okay. Get a creature down. Or play the Heaped Harvest. I think I'd like to get a creature down. So, well, if I do Heaped Harvest next turn, I have 5 mana, which doesn't help me. I still can only cast one of these things. So let's go to attacks. Okay, do they have Scales of Shale here? They might, no, okay. Let's do Cultivator. Next turn we could play Harvest, and then the following turn we could do both of these. Because the Cultivator will forage it away and get 2 lands. Alright, they've got the full Esper. Let's see what they do with it. Moonstone Harbinger. It has Death Touch, sure. Let's go ahead and get the black. Let's forage it away. And then I'll trade it for the Harbinger. That seems fine for me. They said no. That's a good card. Ward 2. So I can pay that ward this turn with Nocturnal Hunger, and I think I kind of have to. The Root of the Spade really isn't doing much on this board. So let's not gift the food and pay the ward here. And get in with both creatures. No plays. I don't particularly like to see that. And let's see if they choose to trade for the Cultivator here. Then I could forage with Sentries, which would be nice. Because I've only got 2 cards in the yard right now. Okay, they did choose to trade. Now that does mean I can forage with Sentries. So 1, 2, 3, 4 here. Okay, there's another land. We've had enough of those. So I guess they could sacrifice their village, but they did not want to. They could have gotten back their rat. They chose not to get Vren back. Interesting. Oh, was it only as a sorcery? No, they could have done that last turn. Interesting. Sure. Alright, I will have to kick this pre-combat so that my druid will be a 4/3 trample here. Alright, what do you got? A way to pump it? Crumb and get it, maybe? Yep, exactly, crumb and get it. Sure, can't do anything about that. So you go to 7. Vren is probably coming down, but Rush Shield Rampager still has a good attacks against Vren, so that's good. So maybe for that reason it won't come down. Okay, here is Vren. So we attack here. We can't really attack anywhere else. I mean, I guess we could attack with Treetop Sentries. We'd trade it with the Vine Lasher, but they would get a rat. Okay, they go to 3. We haven't played this game with a lot of cards that are not lands. Okay, down goes Rush Shield Rampager. Ooh, the number of creatures that were exiled. That's a nice combo. So they're going to get a rat here. It's going to be tough to come back from. Alright, now they get 2 rats. Now I'm not sure we can win. Yeah, that's a huge problem. Well... Okay. Hear me out. Now we have lethal? Alright, let's see if they got removal for those now. Okay, there's one. And that blocks. So... that does effectively block this. Savor. Well... let's go ahead and kill that. And then probably eat these foods to not die. I can chump with these 2 creatures here. Oh, I forgot they had food. That is an issue. I had simply forgotten they had food here. See, the problem is if I start chumping, they start getting more rats. So there's not a great out for me here. I dealt with the Vren once. But 2 times was enough. And they've got the removal, so they're going to get like 3 more rats here. Scales of Shale, Lifelink. Yeah, I think that does us in. Not sure we can beat this now. Alright, well, Vren did single-handedly take over this game, unfortunately. And another land. So I will let him win with his army of 6/6s here, and being at 15 life. So, got us with the rare. On the draw, but do have Savor. That is usually good enough. Don't have... Alright, and then they play the only 1-drop that Savor doesn't kill. So, play something I can kill here, please. Or nothing. Alright, Miss Land Drop. I will take that. Alright, Darkstar Augur. What are we doing? Are we casting this now, or are we gonna... We're gonna hold our... Kick it? I think I'm gonna cast it now. They could have a counter spell or a removal spell, but next turn I could get a different creature down, so I'm gonna go ahead and just play this. They are missing land drops here, so... They could have Polywallop, but they need another land for that, and it wouldn't even kill it. So... Obviously not blocking into whatever they got going on. Okay. I'd like to put pressure on their life total, as my life total might be dropping drastically here. Mockingbird as a Sun Shower Druid blocking Darkstar Augur. Interesting, okay. What do I do about that? I do Longstock Brawl and gift them a fish. Put a counter here, probably? Yeah, let's do that. So let's gift the fish. Kill that. Still have 4 mana now. I can cash grab and savor. That feels okay. I might just savor this fish. I mean, just to kill a creature and get a food, use my mana. Okay. Yeah, that resolves. I can't do anything about that. So do I consumed by greed now is the question. Let's see if they try to put this counter somewhere else now, or if they put it on itself. Yeah, so they put on the lurker. Now I can consumed by greed, I think. Okay, taking all of the damage compared to last game. Alright, I think I need to plan to use Savor to get a food and eat it. Because currently I could die to a top-decked Berserker or whatever. So I can savor their fish. I don't have any other 6-drops in the deck besides Wix Patrol. So I guess what I could do is I could play Wix Patrol, kill their fish, remove this next turn, and I could win that way. Because I'm not going to die to Darkstar Augur flipping a 6-drop, because I don't have any others in the deck. So let's actually do that. Go ahead and kill the fish. Now, if they can somehow deal a point of damage to me here, that would not be great. I flipped a 3, a 3, a 4, and... Is that it? No, maybe Consumed by Greed or Longstock Brawl. I've hit no lands off of the Augur this game. So I think I've taken like at least 11 points of damage off of it. Whereas last game we didn't take very much, so you give some, you take some. I just can't really risk taking a point of damage here. I'm okay with trading this, because now they're just dead on board. I was right. I didn't have another 6-drop in the deck. I was right about that. I had an 8-drop, though. I can't say I expected to take 19 points of damage off of a turn 3 Darkstar Augur. Can't say I expected that. I didn't even process what just happened for a moment there. We won on the we won on board. If we flipped any other card in our deck. Okay. All right, let's keep this one here and continue to just be completely flabbergasted. I still am kind of speechless. I'm not exaggerating. I think we took 19 points of damage off of a Darkstar Augur last game. Sure. Alright, next turn I got 5 mana. I could cultivate. They're going too wide for me. I can't deal with this. Cultivate, Longstock Brawl, kill the Scribe. Oh, that's an issue. That is a huge problem. Alright, end the turn. Removal spell. Hit me for lethal, probably. Okay. Holy cow. Ugh. Yeah. Hit my 6-drop now. Come on. No, why would I be able to hit my 6-drop now? That doesn't make any sense. Am I dead on board now? I think I am. So I can give that -4/-4, and then Longstock Brawl something else, and then it goes down to 1 toughness, but that doesn't do anything. So we do this. And then fight here and die, fight here and die, and be dead. This isn't my format. This just isn't my format. Sometimes you have better formats than others. Karlov Manor had like a 67% win percentage in that format or something. This deck went 1 and 3. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time for your daily draft.